My dear students, so today we will be discussing short answer type questions of the chapter Separation of Substances, okay, from your awareness book, from your science awareness book. All right. So here you see question number 1. Question number 1, what it is written, how will you obtain clear water from a sample of muddy water? Okay. So if you have got a sample of muddy water, that means it has got suspended clay particles, isn't it? So in this case, what you have to do, you have to follow the process of loading. Okay, in this process, actually what is done, in this process one alum is taken and it is fitted with a thread. Okay, and then that alum, it is placed onto the beaker full of muddy water. Now what happens, the particles of the alum, okay, they are deposited on the suspended clay particles of the muddy water, okay, and that makes the clay particle what, that makes the clay particle heavy, and then the clay particle, it settles down rapidly, okay, and then the clear water is obtained by the process of decantation. All right, so this is how you can obtain clear water from a sample of muddy water. Next, question number 2, define solubility of a substance. How does the solubility of a substance vary with temperature? So what is solubility? You all know a solute plus solvent is equals to what, is equals to solution. Okay, so what is solubility? Solubility, it is the maximum amount of substance which can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at a given temperature is called solubility of that substance in water. Okay, so the temperature should be specific and the amount of solute and solvent should be specific. Okay, so the maximum amount that can be dissolved at a particular temperature is known as what, is known as the solubility of that substance in water. Okay, how does the solubility of a substance vary with temperature? The solubility of a substance in water, it increases on increasing the temperature. For example, I am just giving you a short example, like suppose there is 1 glass of water. 1 glass of water, around you say it is like 200 milliliter of water. Now in 200 ml of water, suppose you have given 3 tablespoonful of sugar, suppose. Okay, so now 3 tablespoonful of sugar, suppose you have already dissolved, understood. Now more you are trying to add. Okay, now 4th tablespoonful of sugar also, suppose it has been dissolved. Now when you are putting 5th tablespoon, now you are finding that no more water, no more sugar is dissolving in that water. In that case, what you have to do, you have to put that solution over the burner, you have to heat the solution, right? Now on heating the solution, what will happen, it will increase the solubility. Okay, and then what you will find, you will find more sugar, it can be dissolved. And the next question is, how will you separate a mixture of mustard seeds and powdered common salt? So what you have to do, at first you have to take a glass full of water. Okay, then you have to put the mixture of mustard seeds and powdered common salt into the water, right? Then mix it properly, this powdered common salt and sugar. Okay, and what will happen, the powdered common salt, what will happen, it will be dissolved and the mustard seeds, it will be left behind, as because mustard seeds, it cannot be dissolved in water. All right, now question number 4. How is scrap iron separated from a heap of waste material in factories? Now, you all know that magnet, it can attract what? It can attract iron or any material which is made up of iron. Okay, so like in factories, the scrap iron, it is separated from a heap of waste material by using what? By using big electromagnet. What are electromagnet? Electromagnets are magnet which operates with electricity. That means as long as the electric current is there, it will act as a magnet. That iron bar will act as a magnet. So like in factories, in order to separate the iron particles, okay, from a heap of waste, electromagnets are used. Okay, so a big electromagnet, it is fitted from the heap of the waste material. Okay, and through this electromagnet, the iron scrap, they are being separated from a heap of waste materials. All right, next question number 5. A cup of tea is said to be a mixture. Name its various components. So a tea, it is made up of what? It is made up of water, number 1. Number 2 is tea leaves, isn't it? Then sugar and milk. Okay, sugar and milk is optional, but water and tea leaf, it is what? It is common. Okay, so what is the general name of the process by which tea leaves are separated from prepared tea? tea leaves, it can be separated from prepared tea by the method of filtration, simply by the method of filtration. Okay. Next, define the term sedimentation and decantation. Very, very important. What is sedimentation and decantation? So, sedimentation, what is sedimentation? The deposition of solid matter at the bottom of a liquid is called sedimentation. Alright, suppose if I say sand, okay, so like if you want to dissolve sand in water, then the sand, it will not be dissolved in water. What you will find, since the sand particles are heavier, you will find that it is sedimenting below. Okay, so this process is called what? Sedimentation. Alright, decantation, what is decantation? The pouring out of a liquid from a vessel without disturbing the sediment is called decantations. Like sometimes you will find, like at home, before cooking rice, what our parent do, our parent, they just wash the rice frequently with water, isn't it? Now how do they pour the water? Have you seen that when the rice is dissolved at the bottom, then they pour water by tilting the vessel, isn't it? So that process is called what? That process is called decantation. Without disturbing the sediment, the pouring of the topmost water is known as what? Is known as decantation. Next, you are given a mixture of iron fillings and sulfur powder. How will you separate them from a mixture? Simply, again you have to take a magnet. Wherever there is a question of iron filling, simply you have to take a magnet. So over here, in order to separate the iron from sulfur, in this case a horseshoe magnet, it is moved on the surface of the mixture. Okay, all the iron filings, it will be attracted by the magnet. Okay, they will try to cling towards the pole of the magnet, and thus the iron filing will be separated from sulfur powder. Alright. Next, define the term threshing and winnowing. So what is threshing? Threshing, it is a process in which stalks are beaten to separate grains from the stalk and from shaft that covers the grain. And what is winnowing? Winnowing, it is simply a method of separating husk grains with the help of wind. As because the husk, they are lighter in weight, so it is separated with the help of wind, and of course a winnowing tray is required for this process. Okay. Now question number 9. State one use of the method of winnowing. What is the use of the method of winnowing? The method of winnowing, it is used to separate husk from various types of grains, like you can say wheat, rice, etc. Now give one use of hand picking method of separating mixture in our daily life. So the method of hand picking, where it is used to separate the unwanted substance, like you can say small pieces of stone, then insects, okay, from what? From rice, wheat and pulses. And question number 10. How will you separate a mixture of common salt, sand and iron filing? So first of all, since here is a mixture of common salt, sand and iron filing, so first of all you have to separate the iron filing. So in this case, first of all you bring a magnet near this mixture, okay. So when you are bringing the magnet on the top of this mixture, what you will find? You will find all the iron filings, they are sticking to the magnet and they are getting separated, okay. Then you are left with the mixture of sand and common salt. Okay, next some water, it is added to the mixture of common salt and sand, and then it is stirred. Okay, common salt, it dissolves in water to form what? To form salt solution, whereas the sand, it remains what? It remains undissolved. All right, now you filter this solution. Okay, so on filtering, what residue we will find? You will find the residue of sand, okay, on the filter paper, and now the salt solution, it is obtained as what? As filtrate. Now you are left with the salt and water. Now over here, how will you separate the salt? Simply you have to undergo the process of evaporation. Okay, so by going through the process of evaporation, the salt, it will be separated from the common from the water, okay, by the process of evaporation. That means the water, it will be evaporated and the common salt, it will be left behind, right. So this mixture of common salt, sand and iron filings, they are separated by using three methods of separation. That is, number 1 is the magnetic separation, number 2 is filtration, and number 3 is evaporation. Alright. Next, question number 11. How do jewelers separate the pearls of different sizes? Okay, wherever the question is coming of different size, whether it is of pearl, whether it is of cashew in cashew nut factories, okay, always the method of sieving is used. Okay, with the help of sieving tray, this is being separated. Next, question number 12. Why do we need to separate different components of mixture? Explain with examples. Okay. Now, why these mixtures are separated into different components? Number one, in order to remove an undesirable component. Okay. Like when you are making a cup of tea. Okay. So, after making a cup of tea, then what happens? The tea leaves, it becomes what? It becomes undesirable. Okay. So, along with the tea leaves, you don't drink the tea. So, before you drink the tea, you have to separate the undesirable component, that is the tea leaf. Okay, so you are separating it. Next is to remove harmful component. To remove harmful component, so over here what you can say like suppose you are separating the stones from what? You are separating the stones from suppose rice, okay, or pulses. Now if you eat the stones along with the rice and pulses, it will be harmful for your health. Okay. To obtain the pure sample of a substance, to obtain the pure sample of a substance, for example, like if I say the separation of suppose a magnet like iron and sulfur powder. Okay, so if you want a pure sulfur powder, okay, then you have to do this separation, isn't it? Then to obtain the useful component, okay, just the opposite of that, to remove an undesirable component. Okay, in order to obtain a useful component, which is your desirable component, this separation of mixture is done. Achha, next question number 13. What is saturated solution? Explain with an example. So, what is saturated solution? A solution in which no more substance can be dissolved at that temperature is called saturated solution. Okay. So, explain with an example, like if you are given a solution, suppose where I explained you in case of sugar solution. So, over here the example is given, if in a given solution no more salt can be dissolved at that temperature, then that salt solution will be a saturated solution. Now, how you can increase its solubility? You can increase its solubility on increasing the temperature, alright, and the solubility of a substance, it decreases on lowering the temperature. So, this is all about today. Thank you everyone.